Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Olivia Rodrigo loses millions to pay for copying music. Let's get right into it. Due to similarities between her songs and those by Taylor Swift and Paramore, singer-songwriter Olivia Rodrigo has retroactively given a composition credit to two of her debut album singles, Sour. These modifications are said to have cost her millions of dollars. Rodrigo and her producer and co-writer, Daniel Negro, have split half of the royalties from her single Good For You with Paramore's Hayley Williams and former guitarist Josh Farro, and the other half has been split between Taylor Swift, Jack Antonoff, and Annie Clark, St. Vincent, for an interpolation Rodrigo used on Deja Vu. Rodrigo, a devout and enthusiastic Swift fan, revealed ahead of Sour's release that the bridge of her second single, Deja Vu, was inspired by Swift's song Cruel Summer. Swift, Antonoff, and St. Vincent were granted credit 2 months after the album's release in late August. Williams and Farro were added as authors on Good For You, a pop-punk breakup anthem, because the melody and overall feeling the song conjures are similar to Paramore's Misery Business. Due to Rodrigo's proclaimed inspiration from Swift, are the days of citing personal inspiration and giving fellow artists and genres their flowers long gone when it comes to songwriting? He's pointing to the 2013 case involving Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams versus Marvin Gaye. Thicke and Williams were found guilty of copyright infringement and forced to pay $7.3 million, which was eventually lowered to little over $5 million in 2018, as well as half of future income from Blurred Lines, after Gaye's estate claimed ownership of an entire genre. Both Perry and Led Zeppelin recently won their respective cases on the subject, but as new popular artists like Olivia Rodrigo become the subject of did they or didn't they, intruding upon the other artists' property rights, it's worth considering whether the potential monetary and legal ramifications are worth the risk. Is Rodrigo, on the other hand, genuinely guilty of anything? Good For You may have a similar tune and chord progressions to Misery Business. For example, they're both guitar heavy and lyrically angry. They do, however, have distinguishing characteristics. It's not even the complete Rodrigo song that sounds comparable in the Swift case, it's just part of it. And despite Rodrigo's claim that Cruel Summer inspired her, many contend that Deja Vu isn't the strongest case of interpolation. Isn't there something to be gained from bringing genres or sounds to a younger generation, especially if it isn't plagiarism? Is creating a similar feeling really enough to warrant legal action, credit, and remuneration? Rodrigo's decision to provide retroactive songwriting credit triggered a flurry of articles and extensive Twitter threads discussing how music is formed and what constitutes stealing, with artists as diverse as Elvis Costello and Adam Levine expressing their support for the young sensation. To be fair, her record, which was released in May, did give credit where credit was due. One tune was initially credited to both Swift and Antonoff. Swift's song, New Year's Day, is used in the song One Step Forward, Three Steps Back, which is an interpolation, a re-recording of a melody or portions of it from a previously recorded song. But if an artist is inspired by a vibe or type of music, should they be judged, or worse, have legal action taken against them? Rodrigo and her team had communicated with Paramore before Sour's premiere, therefore fair usage was likely addressed. The solution is a little more complicated. Rodrigo isn't the first musician to be accused of copyright infringement, nor will she be the last. Her case isn't unique. In fact, these situations aren't always predictable when they go to court. Just ask Thicke and Williams. Rodrigo was not the subject of any legal action. Instead, credit was issued and a deal was struck about how that credit would be monetized. Copyrights are in place for 2 reasons, according to Jay Vielkoff, professor of music business and management at Berklee College. One is to encourage people to create by providing financial incentives for their work, and the other is to allow the public access to those works once they've been created. These 2 goals can sometimes conflict with one another. There are 2 broad factors used to determine if a copyright has been infringed upon. The way the courts allow you to prove copying, in the absence of direct evidence, is that you can prove 2 things, says Vielkoff. First, you can prove that the second creator had access to the original work, and on top of access, you have to prove substantial similarity. Not just similarity, substantial similarity. The combination of access and substantial similarity will allow a court to conclude that copying occurred. Vielkoff goes on to say that reasonable people can disagree on whether something is substantially similar on a case-by-case basis, which is why these instances can go either way in court. Access may appear to be a simple norm to choose, yet it can also be ambiguous. When you go to court, you take a lot of risks, which is perhaps why Rodrigo and her team decided to grant attribution rather than face a lawsuit, such as legal bills and the unpredictability of these cases. What are your thoughts on these issues? Let us know in the comment section. That's it for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss out on any future content we'll produce for you guys. We're signing off now, but we'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.